So this week's challenge, knowledge is the enemy of faith. And there's kind of two parts here that I want to break this up into. Number one, the claim that knowledge is the mortal enemy of faith apparently is a scientific fact, according to this challenge. And I just want you to think about that for a moment. The claim that knowledge is the enemy of faith, and that's been scientifically demonstrated. How so? How do you demonstrate that scientifically? Because making the claim that knowledge is the enemy of faith is not a scientific claim. That's a philosophical claim. So you may be able to do some kind of research where you study believers and people who claim to have faith, and they may report to you that they don't base it on any kind of knowledge, and that knowledge is the enemy of their faith or something, but that's not a scientific fact. That's not scientific evidence. That would be sociological evidence. But sociology can't give you any evidence of this philosophical claim. It can't tell you really anything very significant about this philosophical claim that knowledge is the enemy of faith. Instead, what we need is philosophy to help us out here. And so for those who do hold this view that faith is the enemy of knowledge, I would just say we need philosophy to help us out with this one. Specifically, we need epistemology. It's the branch of philosophy that helps us understand knowledge claims. It's the study of knowledge. And so here's what we need to do. We need to get the insights of epistemology, and we need to figure out what is knowledge, okay, and what is faith. So here would be my definition of faith. Faith is trusting, it's personal trust in what you have good reasons to believe is true. So faith is trust. Knowledge can be broken up into three different parts. I think you have propositional knowledge, right? These are the kind of the stock of propositions that you have come to know. We have experiential knowledge. So just through, it was what philosophers called knowledge by acquaintance. So through my interaction with someone or something, I get to know of them or I get to know about them. There's this kind of experiential knowledge I gain. And then there's also skill knowledge, where I learn how to do things. It's knowledge how. And so we got propositional knowledge, we've got experiential knowledge, and we have skill knowledge. Now let's just stick with propositional knowledge here for a moment. My stock of propositions, right? I have different propositions that I think I know. So just like take the claim, God exists. All right, I take that to be a knowledge claim. I think I'm justified in that claim. I think it's true. I believe it, and it's justified, so it counts as knowledge. Now, how faith or trust comes in is that I ultimately have to put my trust in what I take to be true and what I think I can know. And the simple analogy would be my relationship with my wife. There's all kinds of things I know about this person, my wife. There's things I think I know. I know that she's loyal. I know that she's loving. I know that she's kind. I know that she's a woman of character and virtue, and on and on and on. And so I've got all this knowledge about her. And then what faith does is it comes in, or trust, it comes in, and then I put that trust or faith in that person that I have knowledge of. And so this object of my knowledge becomes the object of my faith. So if I have good reason to think, and I have knowledge about this woman, I have good reason to think that she's trustworthy, I put my trust in her. And so I think we can see on that analogy that no, knowledge and faith, knowledge and trust, are not mortal enemies. In fact, the Big Think website has a video of atheist Richard Dawkins talking about how he has faith. And what he says is he has faith in the physicists, because he's not a physicist, he's a biologist. And so he has faith in the findings of the physicists, in that he trusts their opinions and their views on things. And so even Richard Dawkins has admittedly said that he has faith. So if you don't define faith as believing that which common sense tells you not to, well then you can see how faith or trust and knowledge go hand in hand. So then here's the second part The claim in this challenge was the basis of any religion is that you must believe something someone else tells you is true, even though your mind tells you it is a lie and it makes no sense. Well, no, that's not the I would say no. I'm a counterexample, and I know lots of other people, religious people, who are counterexamples to that, who would not say you simply have to just believe what someone else tells you, even when your mind tells you it's false. No, that's what we would call blind faith. So we would say blind faith is the enemy of knowledge, but not any faith. And the way I've defined faith, faith is actually trusting in what you have good reason to believe is true, and so it's not the enemy of knowledge. But what you know about this world, you ultimately have to exercise trust in, and we all have put our trust in something. We all put our faith or trust in something, what we think is true. And for me, as a religious person, the basis of my trust is my knowledge of what I think is true. So no, they're not mortal enemies unless you defined faith in such a way that it's blind. And so I think we can answer this challenge pretty easily.